How's it going, everybody, and welcome to the channel. So today we're going to take an old door, we're going to give it a facelift, and we're going to make it look like this for under $200. Now, $200 might sound like a lot of money, but for an exterior steel door with a window in it, you're looking at about $700 anyways. That's not including the blinds, that's not including the dog door, and eventually I'm going to sell this house. Most people won't want a dog door in their door, so I would have had to buy a new door anyways, or the new owners would have had to buy a new door. So let's jump into exactly what we had to fix.
What we need to fix is the gaps right here where cold air is just blowing through between the door frame and the house. Then between the door and the door frame, we're going to put a new seal all the way around. The bottom door sill, it just is not even attached, so we need to attach that. The door's rusted through, so there's really no way to fix that, but we're just going to put another piece on the bottom so that it doesn't look as bad. We're going to remove this, I don't know what it's called, but the plastic piece over the window, so it's just one big window. We're going to replace the door handle because the door handle sticks. Remove the blinds. Oh, and then we're going to paint it black because everything on the inside of the garage is going to be black.
All right, so the first thing we're doing on this door is going to seal up the little gap right there on the side.
Right here where we can see through, we're going to have some Loctite tight foam, window and door foam. Guy at Lowe's recommended it. I'm just going to stick it in here and it should expand, fill up this gap, and we should have no more air coming through. Now that should expand a little bit.
We're going to adhere this down. To do that, I'm just going to use the concrete adhesive. It's the same stuff I've used for the block caps out there, which holds those in place along with the caps on the step. So figured it works pretty well. I'm going to use the same thing here. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to lay down a bead. This is going to overhang a little bit just because of the way this door is mounted. So I'm going to put this, line up that sill with where the door closes, and that'll be it. And it just needs to dry. About level there, or not flush, but a little bit out. This side's sticking out a little bit too much, so that side's good, that side's good. Then when I come back and this is all dry, we're going to fill that gap, we're going to fill that gap. It's going to insulate everything much better. There's not going to be any air blowing through. Kick plate is done. Next part is the dog door and the diamond plate and sealing that up, and the majority of the door. We'll also cut off these. First thing I need to do is cut that piece of diamond plating in half because it's going to run along the bottom foot of the door. The only reason I'm doing this is to cover up the rust spot. There we go. If the door wasn't rusted, I wouldn't put that piece there. I would just drill through and do the dog door. Cut the diamond plate in half, mount that up, cut a hole with the angle grinder for the dog door, mount the dog door in, and then after we mount the dog door in, we just need to tighten everything down and it should be good to go. We're going to put the diamond plate up, but before I do that, I'm going to get rid of this other stuff here. Like that. Before we get the dog door or diamond plate siding installed, I wanted to replace the weather stripping. The new one comes up a little bit above the door frame, so I want to put the diamond plate over it. I wanted to show you guys the old weather stripping on the bottom that we ripped off. As you can see, it was starting to come apart, and that's where water was getting let in between the door and the kick sill, and also these areas, but we'll get those plugged up. So now I took that off. This piece slides over the bottom like a U. You screw it in. We're going to put the diamond plate over top, but it's a much better seal now. That should be all sealed up. So we have everything mocked up. We have the diamond plate installed, cut out around the door, cut out around the dog door, and then the bolts all the way through. They're not tightened down yet, but they're all the way through.
We also have the dog door in place. We're actually gonna put this on the outside. So then when we open the door, we see I still need to fill in here with these little sheets. So I'm actually gonna turn this the other way and then waterproof it all around, so whenever it rains I could just put the door on it and then no water should get in. I'm gonna take this all apart now. I'm gonna take the dog door down, take these off, put the glue on the back, secure the diamond plate down all the way, let that dry. Then I'm gonna put the dog door in, secure that, and then once everything's in place, I'm gonna put the caulking around. It's paintable caulking, so I'll still be able to paint everything black, but put that around to take care of all the water. Should be good to go. That's how it'll look. Most of the time outside I will be painting everything black, and then whenever I'm in the garage I'll just take this off. That's definitely gonna break at some point, but then the dogs can go in and out. It's not completely done yet. I do need to put the caulking around it so water doesn't come in. As you can see, the door is not completely flat, so there's these gaps in here. So what I'm gonna do is actually put some spray foam inside here so it insulates it a little bit better. Still gonna be a big hole in the door. Also spray foam the corners down there. So the last piece I need to figure out is this gap up here and the door being kind of twisted. So to fix that problem, I have a high security door lock. So the reason I thought of these is because they were on all the doors inside. I think they might have actually been for security from the previous owner. I took them all off because they got in the way when I was closing the doors. I'm gonna put this on to hold it a little bit tighter against that seal. We'll see how that works out and how that holds up. It does seal it up though. Last step is painting the door. So before we paint the door, we want to remove the lock and door handle, and then we want to clean up the door. We just want to scrub it down real quick. So I have some simple green and a brush. So I'm going to go over it, clean it up, and then we're going to get some primer on it. We're at the last step here, which is painting the door. It's already primed. It was taped off before it was primed. So all we need to do is put a coat of black paint on this door, let it dry, and then it'll be done. Painting is all done, tape is removed. One last thing to do, install the doorknob and deadbolt. So let's do that. We've got the doorknob and lock installed, and we have one last thing we want to install that we didn't really plan on installing, but it is really bright in here when the sun's shining through here, so I got some blinds. Put the same blind that's going on the large window over there. So time to unbox this, get it installed, and close out this video. So I said at the beginning of the video that it cost $200 to do all this. So let's break down the cost and see where all that $200 was spent. So starting from the bottom, we had the weather stripping and the spray foam around the outside, which came to around $20. Next, we had the diamond plating and the bolts to hold it in place. It's on both the front and the back of the door to cover up the rust. That was $40. The dog door was the most expensive piece, which was $50, which if you're just refinishing a door and don't want a dog door, don't get that. The doorknob, we had to replace the doorknob and lock. That was $20. The security lock, so air won't get through, was another $20. The shade was $20. And then the cost for paint, if you had to buy a quart of paint, would be around $30. Mine was left over. So that's where the distribution of the $200 went. I'm very happy with how this turned out. No, it does not look as good as a $700 brand new door, but it also doesn't cost near that much. If you would buy a $700 door, you would still have to supply the doorknob, the shade, and the dog door, so that's about $100. So I'm extremely happy with how it came out and how much it cost. I'm glad I didn't buy a new door. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any thoughts or questions, leave them in the comments below, and I'll see you for the next one.